Water cooling parts for Skunkworks were provided by Performance PCs. For the largest online selection of PC modding and water cooling parts, head to performancepcs.com. Here we go, part 2 now of the Skunkworks version 3 update. And answer a couple questions from the comments of the first part. Now, I don't know exactly when this video is going up. I'm going on vacation this weekend, taking the family all down to San Diego for a few days, and I think I already said that in the last video, but I can't remember. The case, apparently I didn't mention what case it was. It is a Case Labs SMA8. And of course people were like, well, why aren't you using the Intel Premium? Why aren't you using the Define S? Why aren't you this? Why aren't you that? Guys, I don't answer why aren't you or why didn't you questions. There are just so many limitless permeations of combo of parts that I could have chosen, and this is what I'm going with. So I don't answer the questions of why I didn't go with this or why I didn't do that. Like people saying, why didn't you put Intel 750s in there? Well, because Intel didn't send me 750s. As I've said, this is a sponsored build, and I use the parts that I have. I'm not spending money on this build. So anyway, what we're going to do today, we're going to start doing some of the simple assembly. I'm not sure how far we're going to get. It's already the afternoon. I had some car repairs to get done today, so I lost a lot of time. But my goal today is to get the upper radiator mounted in fans, because that has to be mounted in place so I can know where to put the reservoirs. Get the reservoirs mounted and get the mid plate in there and start figuring out how I want to do the loop. That way I can figure out where I have to drill. So because I have the mid plate ready, to be able to put in and out pretty quickly, I can pull it out and then do drilling where I need it to be done and then put it back in. So I'm looking forward to that, where the first time I had to do all the drilling with it assembled. But anyway, let's go ahead and get some of this stuff mounted up, and would like to get the blocks on the Titans, and so it'll start looking like a computer again here shortly. Hopefully, anyway. That's the plan. Well, it wouldn't be a Jay's build if there wasn't some sort of snag, and here's snag number 1. So I put in the new mid plate. There's only a couple screws holding it in place. You can see how they have a cutout here, and this is designed for if you're going to have like a 480 rad in the front, you need to have enough room for it to pass through. Well, this is the one that came out of the old mid plate. And Case Labs didn't give me a new one. I don't think they realized that I had to drill into this. So I went ahead and wrote them an email to see if they could send me another one. But that's going to hold me back a little bit. Shouldn't matter too much though. I can still do what I need to do, because I don't think I was going to be drilling into that. Unless I can find some way to incorporate that hole into the build, but I'm not sure. So, yeah. Like I said, this wouldn't be a Jay's build if it didn't have some sort of snags along the way. That's what keeps it fun and exciting though. Well, I guess I don't have to figure out what to do with that hole, because 13 minutes after writing an email to Case Labs, they've already shipped me out that replacement panel. So, yeah, it's just this little piece of aluminum. But, alright, so we're going to go ahead and get the radiator mounted up, and we're going to start placing things, because that's not going to stop me. That's not how we do this. This is the radiator going in the top. It is a Black Ice Nemesis GTS. This one's a 480. You can see they are fairly decent fin density. They're double finned, so it means for each row there's 2 sets of fins, giving it tons and tons of surface area. What I want to point out about this radiator though is this was actually custom made for me by request, because normally this radiator comes in the wrinkle coat only. So I asked Black Ice or Hardware Labs if they would be willing to make me one that was with the same matte texture that comes on their higher end radiators, and they said absolutely. So this is what we've got here. These are actually some custom radiators for a custom system. They're pretty nice looking radiators, man. These things are slick looking. I like the bevel on the side. It gives it some really nice shape. Yeah, tell me what you guys think of this thing. This is pretty badass. So of course we got a 480, a 560, and a 280. It's a lot of radiators. Okay, so there's the new pump and reses put into place, so I can start getting some of the tubing routed. I've got to re-sleeve those in the bottom. The wires, as you can see, they're coming apart. So I'll drill some holes so the wires can go straight back and it will look good. There's a radiator in place. The front fans look... I've always loved the way the yellow looks shining through the front of the case. I mean, I think it just looks badass. The yellow and the gunmetal. I thought about changing the colors, but they just had to stay. But now we're moving on to the part that everyone's been waiting for, and that's me water cooling the Titans. So here's the first one. We already took it apart. And as you can see, it's got a ton of memory chips on there, on the front, on the back. So yeah, we're gonna water cool these three, get those bolted up into place over there. That way we can start figuring out how we're gonna run this loop. And I'm not sure I'm gonna get much farther than that today. I won't even get to work on this again. Well, I'll get to work on it some tomorrow, and then not at all again until like Monday. The anticipation is killing me. Alright, so this is where we are right now. We've got the 3 Titans in there, we've got the pumps and reservoirs in there, and the upper rad. I cannot, for the life of me, figure out how I want to do this loop. I'll figure it out. I tend to go through this every single time, but we had another setback in that one of the valves I bought broke. So the handles on the valves from Bits Power are plastic, and they're very, very stiff to turn when you first get them, even if you wet them. And turning the handle on one of them, simply trying to move it from the position in which it was shipped in, broke the handle right off. And here it is right here, as you can see, the plastic, like, it's just a plastic piece on there that's supposed to turn the metal shaft in there. And it's got like a nylon washer, and it's very stiff. So if you guys have ever turned any Bits Power rotary fittings, you know how stiff they are. And well, so that's busted now. I gotta get a new one of those. But yep, not a whole lot to report on today, other than we got the graphics cards ready to go, and I just can't figure out how I want to do the loop. The way I had it before was the outer reservoir did the graphics cards, and it had all the tubing under there. I want to use less soft tubing, and I don't want to put a whole lot in the basement. So now I'm trying to figure out how to get, you know, all the tubing where it needs to go, because as you can see, even though there's a lot of room in this case, there's gonna be a lot of crossover, and I don't want a lot of crossover. So there we go, guys. That's it for today. It's kind of a short one. Spent a lot more time just staring at this thing, trying to figure out how I want to do it, than actually getting any work done. I mean, all the blocks are installed. That's important. Probably gonna have to rotate the CPU block so I can get the inlet and outlet on the proper sides. And now it's just a lot of brainstorming, a lot of tedious stuff, like re-sleeving the pumps and then doing the bending and all that stuff. So anyway, I don't get to work on this thing until next Monday. Right now it's Wednesday, and I don't get to work on this thing until next Monday because after Tech Talk tomorrow, the family and I, we are hitting the road and going down to San Diego until Sunday. So I won't get to actually work on this until Monday. Which is good though, because I already wrote an email asking for a replacement valve for the one that broke, and possibly some other fittings that I'm going to need. So yeah, maybe that stuff can be here in time by the time I'm back and ready to work on it. I'm probably not going to do a lot of updates going forward on this, because believe it or not, stopping to do the camera and all that stuff really does slow me down. So I think at the end I'm just going to do a complete system review and take you guys on a tour through it, do some nice camera work and all of that. Now of course, guys, you can't forget to thank the sponsors for this build if you guys are enjoying seeing this system come together. Of course, NVIDIA for the 3 Titan X's, not EVGA, NVIDIA sent those cards over. Some of the stuff I already had, like the EK water block on there, was sent. The Supremacy block was sent by EK. Hardware Labs sent the radiators. But all the rest of this stuff that you see going in here in terms of water cooling was all sent by Performance PCs. So if you guys are shopping for water cooling stuff, make sure you head over to Performance-PCs and just check them out. And especially since Frozen CPU is still not up and running, really Performance PCs is kind of like your only option for, you know, the best selection. So, and then of course, you know, EK Water Blocks did send me the blocks for the Titan Nexus. So thanks for that, guys. And when it's all done, we'll give this system a complete, worthy B-roll and dramatic effect and all that stuff. Because I like doing the cinematography type stuff when I can. Even though I kind of suck at it, it's still fun. Anyway, guys, as always, thanks for watching.